It's Vegan Freak Radio number 104 for the 18th of January 2009.
When we were kids, the bugs and the birds fascinated us. They were just like us. Then we were taught they slammed the door. It's not cool to feel too much. But some of us break free. Oh, I'm a vegan freak. That's what you think I'm a vegan.
Coming to you from high atop their elite fortress of moral superiority, here are your protein-deficient hosts, Bob and Jenna.
Hello, everyone. It's Jenna, and we're waiting for Bob. I hope everybody had a really good New Year and good holidays. Hope everybody survived the holidays.
Are we doing a show?
Yeah, we're doing a show.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me put on my headphones. Oh, hello.
Hi, Bob.
How are you? Are we doing a show? We're recording a show. I didn't even notice. Meh. Oh, this newfangled equipment, these blinking and flashing lights. I feel very overwhelmed.
That's not good. Are you okay?
It's a new year, and I'm getting older and older and older. I'm not getting any younger. I'll tell you, it's getting really rough. It's really rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You feeling a little bit creaky and achy?
I am. The very cold weather makes my knees hurt, and I feel very creaky, and I just do not feel good. And let me tell you a story. You know what? I want to turn down this crazy music and put on some good music, okay? Enough of that. Now, good, we can listen to some proper music. So, the other day, I was out driving in my car. I was on the way to pick up some prescriptions at the drugstore. It was early in the morning, and I was playing with that, I don't really know what it's called, but it's the newfangled thing in the car, the space radio,
The satellite.
Yeah, the
satellite radio.
Sirius.
Sirius.
No, Sirius, the one with the little dog and the star. Okay.
Sirius, yes.
Yeah, the satellite, whatever it is. The newfangled, the space radio. So, I'm playing with the space radio, and I'm going through the channels, and I'm listening and trying to find something to listen to, but I'm really confused because it's complicated machinery. I don't understand it. There's not really a tuner on it, and there's not a knob you can turn. You have to press buttons. And I'm trying to drive, and I can't see because my eyes are very bad, and I'm just very old. So, I'm listening, and then there's this music on there, and it just sounds like static to me. It's all scratchy and staticky. And it just doesn't sound right to me.
Wow, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yes, I was really longing for some Perry Como, but I couldn't figure out what channel he would be on. But I'm listening to the radio, and then I thought it was not really tuned, but it was music, because after the song was over, a guy came on and said the name of the band, and it was some crazy thing I'd never heard of before. I just wanted to go and get my drugs and come home and go watch Matlock. So, anyway, I was very confused because they were talking about things on this channel. It must have been some channel for I don't know, young kids or something. They were talking about hipsters. I don't know. I think I need a new hip, perhaps, but I am not a hipster.
Yeah, you gotta be careful in this weather. You don't go outside and break your hip.
I know. It's very dangerous.
Yeah.
Broken hips are no joke, man.
No, none. Not at all.
So I was listening, we were talking about hipsters and skinny jeans, and I didn't know what skinny jeans were, but then I thought about it. They're jeans you look skinny and they fit real tight, and I thought, I'd get a pair of skinny jeans, but they probably wouldn't look good with my Depends.
Probably not.
I thought not. I didn't think they would. And they were talking about these other things in the radio, too, after the song was over, the one that sounded like static and made me angry. They were talking about fixies. And I was like, what is a fixie? I have no idea what a fixie was. Well, I thought it was maybe some weird sexual thing, but no. Turns out it's a bicycle that hipsters, these people who wear skinny jeans, like to ride. What the hell? I don't understand. What is all this stuff?
I don't know.
Back in the day, we didn't have any of these fixies. It's ridiculous. Meh. Okay, I'm tired of being old.
It's a lot of work to be old.
Whew. Hi, everybody. This is Bob. Back again. In normal, guys. Many of you asked for an old man segment, so, we've been working on it.
Yeah.
My mouth's all dry now from doing the old man thing. It's hard to be old.
It's a lot of work.
It is tough to be old. It's very hard. So anyway, on today's show, we have a couple things we want to talk about. We were supposed to have. I'm like the world's biggest screw up because I have been trying to get Angry Hippie on the show for a long time here, and he sends me messages, and I send messages back. I say, I'm so sorry I didn't get you on, and then I forget to follow up with him. So my fault. We were supposed to have him on to talk about the election. We will have him on next show if he is still willing to put up with my flakiness.
Okay.
But I thought we would talk about the election a little bit because
Yes.
that's how long it's been in the inauguration and all that crap.
Yes, this weekend we need to say farewell to Georgie
Yes, I thought
W.
to W. I thought we could do a little George Bush retrospective on the show. Since, he's been a relatively consistent
Yeah?
almost a cast member of Vegan Freak Radio. I mean,
Seriously.
I almost want to give the guy supporting credit because he's been here all along
Yeah.
and he's always had good sounds for us. So I thought, what?
Yeah, I mean, we've been doing the show pretty much throughout the second term here, so.
That's right. So I thought we could play a couple little good Bush sounds. So let's see. We've got
The internets.
the internet sound.
I know the human being and fish can coexist peacefully.
We can, that's what we're all about.
That's exactly what we're all about. You see? And then we've got this one. This one has to be one of my favorites, but there's no convenient way you can soundbite this into a clip for the show, to use on a regular basis. But I really like this one.
Thank you all. Please be seated. Siéntese.
Oh my God.
Bienvenidos. Thank you for coming. Welcome to El Jardín de los Rosas.
He sounds
Wow.
drunk
He
when
sounds-
he says that.
He sounds horrible. And there's no rule. There's no rule in Spanish, like where you're supposed to go. It's not like,
Not at all.
not at all. No rule like that in any Spanish I've ever heard spoken. What else do we have? Oh yeah, this one, a perennial favorite on Vegan Freak Radio.
In a few moments, you can come up and pet the turkey if you want to.
And there's always this one.
You're working hard to put food on your family.
I think I got them all. Oh no! I did not.
Occasionally, and one of the things I've used on the Google is to pull up maps.
Now this guy's president of the United States, and he's going on Google to pull up maps.
I know. Doesn't he have, like...
The Situation Room.
Like, the armed services to do that for him?
There are entire branches of government
I
that
know.
draw maps, and the guy's going on fucking Google. All right, this.
We can have filters on internets.
I think that's all of them. So, goodbye, George W. Bush. Your
Don't
sound
let
effects.
the door hit you on the way out.
Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. He will forever remain in our sound clipboard
Of course.
in some way or another. So,
Of course.
So fear not. We will always, always, always have. Where the hell is it? This one.
In a few moments, you can come up and pet the turkey if you want to.
For some reason, that in my mind, in my crazy little mind, where I make these weird associations, that clip to me is always like this clip.
We thank the hummus for coming to our table.
They're like connected in my mind. Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
That's the connection.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah. I like this one too, though.
You're working hard to put food on your family.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
I like that a lot. So, with that done, goodbye, George. And now we've got Obama coming in.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm really, really happy that Obama's president. Because we could have, John McCain. Or, God forbid, Sarah Palin
Oh, my God.
as president. So, it's nice to see a Democrat coming into the White House. That said, his little stunt of inviting this preacher, I can't even remember his name.
Rick Warren.
Rick Warren.
Isn't that his name?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. To his inaugural. Not even just invited. He's like doing some sort of little thing, isn't he?
I don't know.
I don't
some
know.
kind of incantation or some shit. I don't
Yeah,
know
right.
what the hell you call these things.
That's just, to me, is just ridiculous.
It's a slap.
It is. A complete slap in the face. I mean, this guy, Rick Warren, is a hate monger.
He is?
Complete and total. This morning I heard him on the radio. They were doing a segment on NPR about it. And he was equating gay marriage to brothers and sisters getting married and to old guys and like teenagers getting married.
That sounds good to me.
So like old guys and underage girls.
Would I have to wear skinny jeans? I would do it for you, baby.
Ah, well.
We could listen to Benny Goodman and dance and space radio. Anyway, yeah.
So, he's like, this is how he's starting off his term. That's not a good sign.
I don't understand why you would invite such an intolerant, hateful person to come and give a speech like that when he got so much support from people who are not about intolerance and hate. I don't really get it.
Exactly.
I think, and it's just such a bad. It's the kind of thing that really bothers me about a lot of liberals in general. It's like, well, we'll just open our arms and give the world a giant hug. Everybody needs to come on into our big tent.
Yes, everybody needs to have a voice here.
Yeah. Well,
I'm like, well, no, actually they don't. Because when the voice is hate,
yeah.
do you really need to invite them to your inaugural? No.
I would think not.
Not at all.
And I think it's super offensive.
It is absolutely and utterly horrible.
But he's inviting other preachers who aren't hate mongering, well, he's not a racist, I guess, but who are not hate mongers, who don't hate, gay and lesbian, transgender people.
Yeah, that's fine.
And bi people,
whatever. But, I mean...
But doesn't that make it right? I mean, he's opening up to everybody.
Yeah, just what we need.
Let's
dialogue with everybody.
He's tolerant of the intolerant.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm not.
Yeah. That's the thing, too, is that everybody always thinks that we can just sit down and have a happy little conversation about things. Like maybe what Obama's thinking is, well, I'll get Rick Warren in and maybe we can, bring him around.
You're not going to bring this guy around.
Well, I don't know what Obama's thinking, but...
I think that is what he's thinking. He's like extending this branch to the right wing. Like, here, look, I'm going to listen to you too.
Yeah.
I'm not just going to be this whacked out liberal who's going to go and do all these lefty things to, like take over the government, make it socialist, blah, 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 which George Bush has already done because he's nationalized all the banks.
Yeah.
So he's like, this is what also liberals also do a lot. Is try to seem like, oh no, I'm not too lefty and weird.
Sure.
I'll listen to all of you. Yes, that's good. Yeah. And so, they marginalize people on the left more than people on the right.
Absolutely.
Because they're too afraid to look whacked out like us.
Well, that's why Obama's happy to cut off. I mean, look, if you think about the political left, in a very broad sense, right? And you think about that part of the, if you kind of think of it as a body, right? Mm-hmm. Obama's happy to cut off a finger or two if it means that the whole body can do what he would think is better.
Exactly.
I think. And I think he's just cutting off, okay, I'll just cut off the gays and lesbians. Mm-hmm. There it goes. Bye.
Right. Yeah, because who are the gays and lesbians going to vote for? They're going to vote for the Republicans? Probably not.
Some do.
Some do.
The self-hatred runs very deep, I suppose.
Exactly.
But I don't know. I mean, I just think it's very odd. I also think that there's this broader kind of intention out there in a lot of people, and it's a very honorable intention. But the idea is that two people can sit down and have a conversation and come to some middle ground, or that we can make all kinds of social progress just by talking about problems, right?
Right.
And I agree, we have to talk about problems.
Yeah, we need to debate issues. Absolutely.
But not every problem is amenable to a middle ground.
Nope.
Right? I don't think there's a middle, and I hate to invoke this, but I don't think there's a middle ground between Hitler and the Jews in the Holocaust. What's the middle ground? Does he kill 10 million Jews instead of 20 million? Right? I mean, I don't know what the middle ground is. So what's the middle ground, right? Between a pastor who is clearly a hate monger and Obama. What's the middle ground? There is no middle ground. He shouldn't even tolerate it. It's not the exact same thing, but it's a similar situation where he shouldn't even be tolerating that crap.
Not at all.
As far as I'm concerned. The only way to deal with that shit is to shut it off.
Yep.
So
say that's not acceptable. You're not allowed to make gays and lesbians second-class citizens. No.
Absolutely.
But of course, he's never going to do that because that takes balls.
Now,
no.
Let's not use a gendered term.
Oh, I'm sorry. Intestinal fortitude.
There you go. How about guts? Guts is good.
Guts is good.
It has the same kind of oomph as balls, but it isn't as...
Right. But by definition, I'm not just like singling out Obama either.
Sure.
It's like no politician can have guts because then you don't get elected.
I think that's true.
Especially if you're gutsy on the left.
I think that's really true. You can't be left-wingy.
Nope.
So, I mean, a lot of people out there think Obama's like going to heralding communism, but I mean, whatever.
No.
The guy humps the guy humps the leg of free markets, just like every other politician in the history of this country. So
that said, it is, good that I think one good thing is he does like seem to bring out some hope in people and for good things to come. So let's hope he can live up to it.
That's awfully positive of you.
I know. I'm trying to end a positive note here. It's a new year. I'm trying to be.
Well, don't get me wrong. I'm glad the guy is in office.
Oh, me too. Me too.
I mean, given the options that are out there, I'm glad he's the one who won.
Me too. I was very ecstatic when he got elected.
But let's not forget the real problems underneath it all.
Right.
Yes, indeed.
We
So,
still got to make the world a better place.
indeed.
All right.
So should we be moving on to more relevant
vegan
news?
things? Yes.
More relevant news out there in vegandom?
Veganism.
By the way, subscribers, stay tuned. After the show, we will have a somewhat extended show for you to make up for our paucity of subscriber-only features.
Yes.
But before the end of the show, let's talk about all the things we want to talk about today.
Okay. We are going to talk about...
You're putting your head down. I can't hear you.
I'm sorry. We are going to talk about snowmobiles. Not just snowmobiles, but some asshole snowmobiles. We are going to talk about children, a survey about how many children are being vegetarian, and then we got some voicemails, and I think that's about it.
Good. Make for a good show.
Yeah.
So let's see. I 15 minutes ago posted on Twitter saying, hey, if you're reading Twitter, we're recording the show. You got a tweet from me. Tweet it. Has anyone tweeted me? No. Fuck you all. So, see if I care. Trying to get more audience interaction into the show.
You know, since we don't record live or anything, you know, we got to try.
I got to get on IRC, and they would certainly say some crazy shit. I guarantee it.
Some shit we probably don't want to repeat, actually.
In our online chat room.
There's a lot of TMI that goes on in there.
Actually, it's not usually TMI. It's just, you know, I don't know, disgusting things.
Speaking of disgusting, this article was posted on our forums and also posted, given to us by Luddite Robot. Luddite Robot. There we go. And it's about snowmobiles. And Luddite Robot says, you know, about them being truly awful in every way. And we agree.
They are.
But this is particularly awful. And this article is from the Milwaukee, Wisconsin Journal Sentinel. And it says, authorities think snowmobiles were used in thrill killing of deer. Thrill killing is suspected in... Now, thrill killing, that's just disgusting.
It is disgusting.
No matter what you're killing, it's
That's
disgusting. Right. Thrill killing is suspected in the slaughter of 5 deer in Waupaca County, with snowmobilers believed to have chased the animals down in a field and run them over, authorities said Monday. By Monday afternoon, a reward fund for information leading to the killers had climbed to $9,000, fueled by local snowmobile clubs and residents outraged by the crime. Apparently, some people using snowmobiles as weapon ran down, dragged, and did unspeakable acts of cruelty to the deer, said the Department of Natural Resources spokeswoman Laura Steffs. The overwhelming majority of snowmobilers find this act despicable, Steffs said. Everybody's pretty shocked. The discovery was made about 9 a.m. Saturday by a farmer who rents the land near Denmark and Holiday Roads in the town of Lind. Blah, blah, blah. 4 deer were found dead at the scene, and a 5th had to be euthanized, said Carl Messman, a conservation warden supervisor with the DNR. 1 deer was apparently dragged and strapped by the neck to a tree, where it was run over and apparently died trying to free itself. Investigators think 1 deer was placed under a snowmobile and eviscerated by the machine's track, Messman said. This is not something I've personally ever seen before, especially what happens to be the joy that the killers took, said Messman, who noted an increase in the number of incidents in which people have used motor vehicles to intentionally run over animals. The snow depth and crust of ice covering the field prevented the deer from escaping, said John Anderson, trail coordinator. A snowmobile can get off the trail and go fairly fast, said Anderson, who visited the scene Saturday, but there is enough snow to slow the deer a bit, so they were easy targets. The deer clearly suffered. So this is just like absolutely disgusting. And then it has a couple of quotes from people who think this is disgusting. It's totally repulsive. This is really painting a bad picture of snowmobilers, and that's not the case.
Well,
yeah. And then it ends by, I can't think of a word to describe it. He said, it's that bad. Now, when your general omnivore is getting that upset about it, you know it's got to be bad.
I mean, okay. I agree that this is a disgusting thing to have done. Mm-hmm. There's no question about it. I think the guys that did that, first off, I hate snowmobilers. Let's just get that out in the open.
Should be no shocker to anybody who's listened to our show.
Oh my God, they drive me insane. They go on the sidewalks. Mm-hmm. They go everywhere. They cut through your yard. They're a bunch of...
Yes.
I'm even going to say it. They're horrible people.
They are. And they go back and forth down the street at like 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah. Usually. And probably they're drunk.
Probably because they also go back and forth between the bars.
Indeed. And you know, Okay, so I have that problem, but I guess the question I have is that this is a horrible thing, clearly, right?
Obviously.
And everybody is all upset and offended by it. But these are the same people who go out and hunt deer.
I know. That's what I don't understand. So it's okay to shoot a deer, but it's not okay to kill one with a snowmobile? What's the difference? The deer suffers either way. Now, they would say, I'm sure, like, oh, well, the deer suffers less when you shoot him.
Or it's neat, and when I guess they would probably say that the other suffering was needless suffering.
Right.
Right. Excessive suffering.
Right.
But and it is horrible. There's no question about it. What they're doing is in fact quite horrible.
It is. But like Gary Francione always says, he says that what meat eaters do is they get pleasure out of eating meat. So these guys who were snowmobiling got pleasure out of killing the deer. Mm-hmm. Well, if you're shooting a deer, killing and eating, you're also gaining pleasure from it.
Agreed.
So what's the difference?
Well, I mean, I guess it's a difference of degree, right?
Right.
Those guys are really sick. I mean, they're really, really sick.
Sadistic. Yeah,
they
were
sadistic.
killing just for the sake of getting the joy out of killing.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, there's also a similar. I guess what the article shows is this like division in the minds of omnivores, in the minds of people who eat meat. Like there's a certain kind of killing that is acceptable, and there's a certain kind of killing that's unacceptable.
Right.
This was the unacceptable killing. Whereas if you go out in the woods and you shoot the animal with a rifle, that's acceptable. Why that's acceptable, the other one is unacceptable, is unclear. Right. Or maybe it's a matter of degree. So it's a question of degree, but ultimately underlying each of those degrees is the main problem.
Right.
And the main problem is you're still killing an animal.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
The animal still, I mean, hunting animals, how many hunters, there's this idea in the imagination that hunters are great shots.
Right.
And that they're not drunk off their ass 90% of the time when they're in the woods.
Right.
Well, they aren't great shots, and many of them are drunk and in the woods.
Right.
And so animals will get shot and not cleanly killed and limp around in the woods for days sometimes. Mm-hmm. It's like the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
In
How
a lot
many
of
of these
ways.
hunters are getting clear headshots that kill it in one shot?
Well, that's right.
Exactly.
So, and even if they did kill it in one shot, that doesn't make it better.
Well, I'm not saying it does.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, people use all kinds of things to justify it. Like, oh, well, we need to thin out the population because or else the deer will take over.
Right.
And we're doing them a favor so they don't starve to death. Or, well, hunting is a sport. Which, yeah. Or, well, we need meat to live. Like, this is the biggest justification that people use. Well, we have to eat meat to be healthy. We have to eat meat to live. And as, any vegan can tell you, no, you don't. We're living proof that you do not.
We absolutely are.
So there are no justifications for it at all.
Not at all.
But people like to tell themselves.
But these guys are actually in jail now.
Are they?
Well, they were arrested for this.
Excellent.
I saw a follow-up. They were arrested.
Good.
Yeah, they deserve it.
Yes, they do.
They absolutely do.
They do. But, yeah. But the whole, this omni thing where one kind of killing's all right and the other kind's not. It's just, can't treat animals like that at all. Period. Don't shoot them. Don't kill them.
Agreed. So I went on IRC and I got people to try to say a couple things. Let's see. What did I get? Dirt and Skirt says, greetings from the land of strong breezes and possibly the best Italian food your tongue has ever laid its buds on. Let's see. JC2K says, pimp the planet, Bob. The Planet is his website. It's planet.veganfreak.com that aggregates the blogs and all different things out there of anyone who is a member of our forums.
Nice.
So he does that. So planet.veganfreak.com is like just one place to pull together all the people who have self-identified as vegan freaks, whatever that means. Let's see. People say pimp the IRC, which is at veganfreak.net/chat. Let's see. What else do I have here? I think that's all. We have a little robot in the room who kind of, you can make it say random things. They're making him say random things with the word podcast in it. So Soupy, the robot, says, the podcast and kind of guilty, the countdown. Heh. Okay.
What else does Soupy say?
Soupy says, hey, their oversight is your Wi-Fi.
Oh. Okay.
And Soupy also says, Pinot Scrotal degloving is the one from the soybeans were actually old. Maybe I can make decent ones.
I love Soupy.
So I'm telling him to give me more. So anyway, there we go. Yes, our chat room, our crazy ass chat room. So let's move on in the show. I'll check back. I'm going to check back in IRC in a minute. Let's talk about our next news item. Our next news item is first U.S. count finds 1 in 200 kids are vegetarian. Now, what I find interesting about this is that if you, I remember reading, I read a survey not long ago that that said something like, I forget the amount of people, but something like 5% or 2% of people believe that I can't remember the exact percentage, believe that they were abducted by UFOs, right? 2% is not 1 in 200.
There are more people. What you're saying is there are more people who believe that they're abducted by UFOs than there are vegan or vegetarian.
Exactly.
Yes.
I'm saying that 1 in 200 that there are probably more kids out there that believe they have had contact with extraterrestrial biological entities than are vegan or vegetarian. But hey, whatever. So let me read this article too, because it's kind of interesting and it contains some interesting, I don't know, whatever. So Sam Silverman is co-captain of his high school football team, a safety accustomed to bruising collisions. But that's nothing compared with the abuse he gets for being a vegetarian. I get a lot of flack for it in the locker rooms at the 16-year-old junior at Westboro High School in Massachusetts. All the time, my friends try to get me to eat meat and tell me how good it tastes and how much bigger I would be, said Silverman, who is 5'10 and 170. But for me, there's no real temptation. Silverman may feel like a vegetable vendor at a butcher's convention. I need to get back to my soundboard. Where is it? There we go. I hate these articles. They always have these stupid...
Why do they always have the bad puns and everything? God, just for the love of God, can someone please publish an article about veganism or vegetarian without using any bad puns?
I know, for real. Someone may feel like a vegetable vendor at a butcher's convention, but about 367,000 of their kids are in the same boat, according to a recent study that provides the government's first estimate of how many children avoid meat. That's about 1 in 200. Other surveys suggest the rate could be 4 to 6 times that among older teens who have more control over what they eat than young children do. Vegetarian diets exclude meat, but the name is sometimes loosely worn. Some self-described vegetarians eat fish or poultry on occasion. Fish is not a vegetable. It is not. Not vegan. Anyway, some self-described vegetarians eat fish or poultry on occasion, while others, called vegans, cut out animal products of any kind, including eggs and dairy products. Anecdotally, adolescent vegetarianism seems to be rising thanks in part to YouTube animal slaughter videos that shock the developing sensibilities of many U.S. children. But there isn't enough long-term data to prove that, according to government researchers. The new estimate of young vegetarians comes from a recent Federal Centers for Disease Control and Prevention study of alternative medicine based on a survey of thousands of Americans in 2007. Information on children's diet habits was gleaned from about 9,000 parents and other adults speaking on behalf of those under 18. I don't think we've done a good job of counting the number of vegetarian youth, but I think this is reasonable. Amy Lanu, a nutrition scientist at the University of North Carolina, Asheville, said of the government estimate. She works with the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, a vegan advocacy group. Vegetarians say it's animal welfare, not health, that most often causes kids to stop eating meat. Compassion for animals is the major reason, says Richard Schwartz, president of Jewish Vegetarians of North America, an organization with a newsletter mailing list of about 800. 800? Geez, come on. 800?
That's not very many.
We get 800 people downloading the podcast in the first hour after it's out. When kids find out the things they are eating when kids find out the things they are eating are living animals, and if they have a pet, ... Case in point is Nicole Nightingale, 14, of Safety Harbor, Florida, in 2007. Nightingale was on the internet to read about chicken when she came across a video on YouTube that showed the birds being slaughtered. At the end, viewers were invited to go to the website PETA.org, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. This part is funny. Nicole told her parents she was going vegan, prompting her mother to send an angry letter to PETA. I'm very angry. You've made my daughter vegan. Dear Ingrid Newkirk, when you aren't out showing sexist advertising... Anyway, but the vegan diet is working out, and our mother is taking steps to become a vegetarian too, said Nightingale, an 8th grader. She believes her experience was typical for a pre-adolescent vegetarian. A lot more kids are using the internet. They're curious about stuff and trying to become independent, and they're trying to find out who they are. Vegetarians are most often female, from higher income families, and living on the east or west coast, according to previous studies. One good place to find teen vegetarians is at Agnes Scott College, a mostly white all-women's private school in suburban Atlanta with about 850 students. Roughly 5 to 10% of Agnes Scott students eat vegetarian. Eat vegetarian? It always sounds to me like they eat vegetarians.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to eat a vegetarian. Eat vegetarians, said Pete Miller, the college's director of food service. Frequently the most popular entree at the college dining hall is a fresh mozzarella sandwich with organic greens. And the comment board called the beef board, as in what's your beef, often contains plaudits for vegetarian dishes or requests for more. They're very vocal, Miller said of his vegetarian diners. Eating vegetarian, well, it goes on to talk about how you can be unhealthy as a vegetarian. No shit. Dumb. So anyway, I'm not even going to continue on because the rest of it's really stupid. But I found this to be interesting. Like, these vegetarians are out there, and what the article is saying is that most of the people are going vegetarian for animal rights reasons, for what they consider to be a concern about the welfare and safety of animals. Yet they're still eating mozzarella sandwiches. Why? Since when is mozzarella
vegan?
Since when is mozzarella a product that involves no animal suffering whatsoever?
Well, it could be that people didn't do the complete research. You
Right.
know, when I first went vegetarian in college, I didn't think about it at all. It didn't even cross my mind to consider that. Because to me, okay, animal meant meat. That's it.
Yep.
And you don't have to herd the cows to get the milk.
That's
you
true.
know? So, and I think too, it's like a lot of people don't think it's so much easier to be a vegetarian.
Yeah.
And, sometimes it is a little more convenient.
Right.
Sometimes. But,
yeah.
because I've been places where, I've gone to a restaurant and there are, there's one or two vegetarian options, but they're not at all vegan. But that said, I think that people don't necessarily want to look like the total freaks that we are either.
But this is where Claire Askew's
Yes,
book comes in, right?
of course.
Fills the gap in this particular. She sees this problem and she fills the hole that this problem. She just goes right in and says, "Man, look at the problem that exists here."
Yes.
And her book addresses that problem head on.
It does. And she points out how easy it is, even though people think it's not, how easy it is to be a vegan, even when living in your parents' house, and they're not. So she does that very well. So Generation V is her book.
That's right. Available from a variety of outlets.
Wherever fine books are sold. So
Cool. So I'm trying to get more people in the IRC room to say things. And they're like, you can't just come in here and put us on the spot and expect us to perform, Maneater says. PT0 says, hi from North Carolina, USA. I don't know. What else do we have here? We aren't your circus freaks. I could say all kinds of crazy shit in French. Soupy says, I take it off, a bit of work, hope no tumor.
okay.
Whatever. Okay.
One more thing about that article.
Yeah.
I love how they say that, oh yeah, teens are becoming vegan because of YouTube. And then they say, well, we haven't really done any studies about that. So they really have no clue.
No, they have no clue.
It was just a guess.
It's a total guess. They found
one person that they interviewed.
Here's the thing. This guy, the writer, is Mike Stobbe, or Stobbe, right? He's the AP medical writer. He's probably like, Jesus Christ, you're just assign me this stupid thing. So he's probably like, wonder why this is happening. Let's think about it. And he came up with a line let's tie it into the social media, man. That'll be really cool. That's what these kids are all about, the social media, right?
Right.
And so there you go. I'm surprised Facebook wasn't in this goddamn thing.
True.
Yes.
All right.
Ay.
Anything else on Twitter? You go back to Twitter?
No, you know, I have hundreds of followers, and have any of you tweeted me, said anything good to me through these social networking tools? Meh. No one has said anything directly to me. I'm going to cry.
Oh, well. It is Sunday, and I guess fewer people are at their computers. Because, unlike us, people actually, leave their houses.
Oh, wait.
And go places.
I got a couple.
You got one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I got one. Any suggestions for a book of vegan meal planning ideas and kid-friendly recipes? That's from Tanya Harrington. Kid-friendly recipes. I think Drina's books have a lot of
definitely
kid-friendly recipes in them, and she often in her directions, she often says my kids like this, or if I'm making this for the kids, I do X.
Right.
And she's got things in the beginning of her books where she talks about that.
Especially Vive la Vegan, which has menu plans for babies included in there and everything, and a lot of kid-friendly recipes because she's got a couple of kids.
Yeah, so I think that's a good one. So she's got really good vegan meal planning ideas in those books and lots of kid-friendly recipes. That's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. While I'm sure there are others.
I know there's another vegan family cookbook out there. I think it's called the Vegan Family Cookbook or something.
I was underwhelmed with that book.
But it was only all right.
I was really underwhelmed with that book.
I think it was it Lantern published?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't, it was okay.
I
It
thought
just wasn't float your boat.
Everybody's different. Everybody's gonna have different perspectives on
course.
these things. I thought it was only okay when I went through it, but whatever. I'm different than most of you, so
This is
perhaps
true.
you have some other tastes that are perhaps more exotic and interesting than ours. So anyway, let's move on.
You said you had a couple.
Oh, the other one says, this is from Greg the Veg. What's this Vegan Freak vodcast in the iTunes store?
Oh gosh.
I removed that a long time ago, and I told
still
iTunes
there?
to delete it. It doesn't work. I removed all the files. When we first started doing the podcast many years ago, we also did a couple little video segments of ourselves.
Yeah. And Dino did a couple.
Dino did a couple too, but Dino, Dino did do a couple. And then I don't know. We're not built for.
No, I prefer the medium of radio.
There you go. That's a good way to put it. The medium of radio is better.
It suits us better.
I think it suits us better.
Yeah.
Plus, I can make funny faces and stuff, and
not shower.
and not. You don't have to comb your hair to do the radio.
Exactly.
You can just do whatever, right?
Right.
For all you know, we're doing it naked. Now,
Considering it's January,
I was gonna
probably
say,
not.
That would be a little cold. But hey, whatever turns you on. So I wasn't really into the vodcast thing, and it was before YouTube was really big even at that point. Because now if we're gonna do that, we just put them on YouTube.
Right. That's
So
true. Yeah.
it was before YouTube was worth anything. So anyway, whatever. So let's move on. Are we going to do our voicemail?
Voicemails.
Those are the only 2 tweets we got. Thank you to the two people who responded to my plea for tweets, for my plea for feedback. Me and my lonely self. Right. So voicemails.
Time once again for some vegan freak voicemail. Maybe we'll hear from a hot chick
or a choice male.
Callers make us happy and help us keep our sanity, even if all they wanna do is fucking complain about the shitload of profanity.
Hi, this is Mariah from Baltimore. I'm a little bit irritated. Is there any way that you can tell me how I'm supposed to convince my father that fish is not vegetarian, much less vegan? He just asked me if shrimp is vegan because he has some philosophy or theory or whatever that vegans don't eat things that have heads, and I don't know what the fuck is up with that, but I don't know, it irritates me so much. We were watching a show one day, and there's this girl, he was like, oh, she's vegan, and she eats scallops. I'm like, Dad, that's not vegan. He's like, what? It doesn't have a head? I'm sorry, I just had to tell you about that. It really pisses me off. Okay. Bye.
Well, there may be no way to convince your father.
Yes, we don't eat things that have heads, but it's only a subset.
I've eaten a head of lettuce.
Well, true. We eat potatoes and they have eyes.
A head of Romans and bananas. No, romaine. Jenna?
Well, shrimp have heads.
Over to you, Jenna.
Shrimp have heads.
Well, okay, but
Scallops don't have heads.
That's buying into the ridiculous.
I know.
The ridiculous scheme that
we don't eat anything that comes from the animal kingdom.
There you go.
Has that.
That's pretty good. I like that.
Okay.
So that's an easy answer. It's encapsulated. It's quick.
Does.
You could just fire it right back at your dad. Boom. There you go.
Yes.
So we don't eat anything in the animal kingdom.
Correct.
And why do we not eat anything in the animal kingdom? Because we do not believe it is right to treat animals as things, as instrumental objects towards our ends.
Right.
Correct?
Correct.
Okay, that's a little more complicated, but you don't need to go there at all. Want to move on?
Sure.
Next?
Hi, Vegan Freaks.
Whoa.
This is Lindsay.
Wow.
I love you guys' show. I've only
Thanks,
been listening
Lindsay.
for about a week, but it's kept me entertained
Only a week? We've been doing this for years. Where you been, Lindsay?
for a lot of time at work.
Ah.
My question is,
So you're stealing your employer's time to listen to our show.
can multitask.
You're stealing time. Stealing time. I'm going to report you. No, I support anyone who steals time from their employer.
Actually regarding the March of Dimes. I don't know if anyone else has called asking about your opinion on this. First question would be, what do you guys think of March of Dimes? And second would be, kind of have a situational question. I'm the admin for our office, which means I get to be in charge of all kinds of events and fundraisers. And last year, as they do every year, they have fundraising for March of Dimes. And at the time, I didn't really know anything about it, and I organized it. And then after the fact, I actually did some research and saw that they test on animals. And so it kind of poses a little bit of a conundrum for me this year, because I know they're going to ask me to basically be in charge of the whole thing again, and I don't know if I really feel comfortable with doing that. But being that it's a work situation and I have bosses asking me, I don't know what the kind and tactful way to tell them, no, I don't want to take part in your stupid fundraiser. I don't know how to go about doing that. So I would love any thoughts that you guys have. I'm a little bit nervous to tell them straight up, hey, no, I'm not going to do this. But I definitely am not going to do it. So I have to figure out some way to say that. Anyway, keep on rocking. Love your guys' show, and have a great day. Bye.
Well, thanks, Lindsay. She probably already did the thing by now. I mean,
Actually, this is a fairly recent one.
Oh, okay, good.
It's from January.
Oh, okay. I'm barely going through.
Now you're old. Now you're going through puberty.
I know. I was going to say, first I'm ancient. Now I'm going through puberty again. I can get a drink of water, but go ahead.
That is really tough because, in a sense, your bosses could probably make you do it. I would imagine.
I can't make you do anything. You walk in there, flip the table over, give them the bird, and say, "Listen, no, this is why I've been a very successful employee."
What I would try to do, if at all possible, my first reaction was, is there any way that you could do the fundraising for a different charity?
Mm-hmm.
Convince them somehow to change the charity.
It's a good idea.
Actually, this was a thread on our forums a while back, because I think it came up during one of the hurricanes. People wanted to give money to the Red Cross, but the Red Cross also tests on animals. And you're right, the March of Dimes is a very bad perpetrator of animal testing. And what came up was that the PCRM, the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, has a list of charities and all that kind of those kinds of organizations that do not test on animals that you could support. Or someone else had a very good idea of supporting a local hospice or a local organization with your money. And that way, I mean, you're really supporting the community. You're supporting people who are, you can like go to the hospice, they're there, they're in pain, they need your help. So I think, that kind of visibility for your company in the local community would be great. So if you could sell it to them that way.
That's a really good point. Because look, it's a win-win situation.
Yeah.
You get out of doing the planning you don't want to do for an organization that kills a lot of animals, and you also raise the visibility of your organization by supporting a local organization. It's fantastic.
Yeah, a local children's hospital or something.
Oh,
things
yeah.
like that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So I think that would be the way to go if you have that leeway. If not, I don't know.
Well, I don't know what I would do in that situation. Well, I know what I would do. What I would do is not right. Because I basically lack tact. I mean, when it comes down to it, Jenna laughs because she's like, yeah, I know, I've been living with you for so long now. I understand that. I have this problem where I'll just say to them, I can't do it, or I won't do it. And I'll tell them why. But that's me. And, I've had strained relationships,
Well, I guess it also depends on your bosses. Are they going to be okay with if you say, this is against my ethics or my principal beliefs, and I just can't do it. Can we find someone else? I don't know. I don't know how they'd react to that. If they're cool bosses, they might be, all right, fine, we'll find someone else. If not, they could be total assholes. I don't know.
Tough call. I don't know. You really have to play it by ear.
Yeah.
I mean, don't take advice from us about how
to
how to deal with your job. So
probably not the best.
But
if you can do option number one of trying to find a different charity,
I think that
would be the thing to do.
That's the solution to the problem, I think. But then again, you might be stepping on someone else's toes that way too, because what if someone in the office is like totally, it was someone's idea to support the March of Dimes, and it's this like office personality thing.
Oh God, office politics.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Exactly. Tough, complicated
yes,
questions we
it
have to deal
is.
with.
I know.
So, well, good luck.
Yes.
And thanks for listening to the show. While we were talking about that, another tweet has arrived for us. This is from Jess King. She says, "It's about fucking time. I can't wait to hear the podcast, slackers." Just kidding. I'm super excited. So
yeah, we're getting there.
We're getting there. We're doing it. We're going to get her done.
Get her done.
Oh, God. I hate that. I hate that so much. People in IRC are mad at me now.
Why?
Because I was apparently being mean to them by asking them to perform on the spot. Tough. They'll live. So let's move on to our next voicemail.
Hey, this is Melissa from Wyoming. I just started listening to your show a couple days ago, and I had a question for you guys. Now,
We have an
I live
answer.
in a town where, frankly, cattle outnumber humans. It's kind of
We live in a town where trees outnumber humans.
sad. And so, obviously, I get all those ignorant, dumbass comments whenever someone finds out that I'm vegetarian. Now, unfortunately, because of where I live, it's impossible to go full vegan. I mean,
Wrong.
A box of tofu costs $10 where
Liar.
I live. It's really sad. But recently,
Come
I started
on.
dating-
Really? Tofu costs $10. Come on. Even in Wyoming? Really? Do you think?
I don't know.
I
It
suppose
could be
it's possible.
expensive. It could be expensive.
I suppose it is.
Especially item. But
I keep going.
maybe we should keep going first.
dating
Then
this
we'll come.
guy who's incredibly supportive. Like,
That's good.
I'm a Buddhist, he's a Christian, and he doesn't give a crap. But my concern is that he won't eat meat while he's around me, which is really, really nice, but he doesn't know how to be healthy. Like, he can't cook. I just taught him how to boil water without it, going everywhere. So that's my main concern is how could I talk to him about that? Because he thinks that he should just, grab the fruit or whatever, and it's really, there's no protein in it. He can't cook, and in his family, being a vegetarian is kind of a sin. I mean, his dad hunts, he's a car mechanic or something. So I'm really just wondering what I should be telling him, because I want him to be healthy. If he cares about me, I want to show that I care about him. Thanks.
Okay, well, first, I would just like to take a small exception to the idea that it's impossible to be vegetarian where you are.
Yes, to be vegan.
I mean vegan. Oh, God.
I think anywhere in the United States, it is possible to be vegan. And Canada. In the North, yes.
Well, maybe not. But you know what? Let's just go for all of North America.
All of North America.
Right? Anywhere in NAFTA. Okay? If you're a NAFTA country.
And the UK and Australia.
Easily, yes. And you know what? While we're at it, let's add most of Europe, too.
And the Western world.
The Western, there you go. Now, I'm sure that there are places where it's harder to be,
of course,
vegan than other places.
Of course,
you live in New York, Philadelphia, Portland, a big city where there are tons of vegan options. It's not difficult. And I didn't mean to be dismissive. Tofu may in fact cost $10 a carton where you live. That would be about 5 times what it costs here, but we live in the middle of nowhere as well, and it's not all that difficult. Now, tofu is not the only source of protein for vegetarians.
Definitely not.
You do not have to eat tofu if you are a vegan.
Definitely not.
You can be allergic to soy and be a healthy vegan. The reason being that there is protein, and as well as a bunch of other interesting nutrients in all kinds of things. Now, for example, this got me digging into my files, and if you're like me, I'm extremely disorganized and everything is one giant pile of crap. So I dug through my piles of crap, which I often call my files, to find this nutritional assessment that I did a few years ago. And I had this done for me by a nutritionist. So what she did was break down the amounts of things I need in my diet. She says that someone who's my height and my weight needs about 63.5 grams of protein in a day. During a day where I was keeping track of my food, the food I ate lentils, I had soy milk, I had a little bit of nutritional yeast, I had salad, I had popcorn, air popped, I had broccoli, I had tomatoes, celery, a couple cups of coffee, olive oil, things like that. In that day, I got 74.7 grams of protein.
That's a lot.
I got, 11 grams over what I need. So the point I'm trying to drive home here is that you don't need to eat tofu to get the protein you need. You don't need tofu to get the things that you need to live well as a vegan.
Right.
You can get dried beans in every grocery store in this country, I imagine.
And canned beans.
And canned beans. And there's the internet. You can have stuff shipped to you. I mean,
I was going to say.
You should see the pile of cardboard we had in our garage until recently from all the crap that we get in the mail. But there are a lot of stuff we can't get around here. We get shipped to us.
Right. I mean, if you live anywhere that has a grocery store that has produce, grains, and beans, you're set. That's all you need.
It is.
I mean, you don't need fancy vegan products. I mean, they're nice. But, you know, pretty much if you have a store that has these things, you don't need tofu.
Right.
You don't need seitan or tempeh or any of that. You can make your own. You
can make seitan. It's super easy to make.
Yeah.
And you can order the vital wheat gluten through the mail.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm always forever amazed at how much stuff you can get shipped to your place from the internet. It is amazing. You can find anything on the internet. You
pretty much can.
I mean, you can get a box of organic produce shipped overnight to your house. You can get tofu shipped to your house overnight. You can now all the vegan stores online have you can get refrigerated and frozen items shipped overnight with cold packs. And so you can get the fake cheeses, you can get the fake meats, you can get, like pre-prepared dinners. You can get an entire week's worth of food shipped to your door. Like pre-prepared meals shipped to your door. It's insane.
You really can.
So if you really do want to try things, even tofu, you could probably get a lot cheaper and actually have it shipped directly to your house.
I'm sure you could.
Cheaper than you can buy it locally. So, I mean, where it might seem hard and impossible, it's not. You just might have to do a little digging and it might take a little bit of research at first.
Yep.
But there you go. And in fact, it is great that your boyfriend is very supportive and everything. In fact, reaching for that thing of fruit is actually probably a really good idea. The more fresh fruit and vegetables that you can eat, the better.
Well, I think she's concerned that that's all he's eating now.
Oh, okay.
So she said in the voicemail was that he doesn't want to eat stuff in front of her, but he isn't also really into...
He doesn't know what to eat. He doesn't cook.
Right. But I would think, to me, the way to look at that isn't as a negative, but as a positive. Because what you could do, Melissa, you could get your hands on some good cookbooks. And, a lot of the vegan cookbooks out there are aimed at cooking from the store. You don't really need a lot of incredibly difficult ingredients. Or you could cook him some meals that he would eat. So that way the both of you can start to explore vegan cuisine together, and you can both get to eat things that are good and are healthful. So you feed the guy a meal or two, since it sounds like you're cooking for him anyway. Right? I don't mean to make these sexist assumptions, but feed him a meal or two and go with it. Now, as for it being a cultural thing, I don't know what to say. It isn't always easy to do the thing that's right. It isn't always simple to make a decision in your life that affirms a principle that you have, especially if it upsets or discomforts other people. But that does not absolve you from doing it.
Right.
As far as I'm concerned.
Right.
I think there's a moral imperative involved to go vegan. And I think if you understand that moral imperative and you want to do it, that you should do it and try to negotiate or to navigate those potential pitfalls as best you can. I know it's not going to be easy. They'll make fun of you. They'll do whatever. But, in time, people usually come around. That's what I think. So, they're different people take it in different ways. It's part of what we always think about when we talk about vegan freakdom, right? I mean, it's like embrace the freak, right? People look at you as a freak. Well, embrace that and learn to deal with that and learn to live with that. So that's not always an easy thing to do, but I think it's an essential thing to do if you want to continue to live your life in a way that is congruent with your beliefs. Vegetarianism, I don't want to be offensive, but vegetarianism is not the way in that direction, because there's still a ton of pain and suffering involved when it comes to vegetarian foods. A ton.
Yes.
So let's move on.
Okay. Well, go
ahead.
I need to get in a quick plug for something we always plug on the show, which is Becoming Vegan by Melina and Davis. If you want to know what nutrients you need and how to get them, it's a great resource. So you know how to be a healthy vegan.
Yep.
There you go. I had to get that in.
There you go.
Okay.
Cool.
Well done.
Excellent. Oh, here's another tweet I missed. This one is from FRZA Monkey. Who's the monkey? Who's the monkey? 5 years vegan as of 2 weeks ago. Woo, you should have Gary F on again. Love the podcast. Every time we have Gary on, people love it, and then we always, other people write us emails saying, never listen to your show again. I love it. I bet Gary would be fine with being on again.
Sure.
I'll just have to get on the horn and talk to Gary. and make sure I've got like 4 hours free. Yes. Because, man, he gets on and he does the knowledge.
He does.
So
it's impressive.
It is indeed. Now let's move on to our final voicemail of the show.
Hi, this is Melissa. I'm calling from the Northern California meetup, and we're drunk and playing Rock Band.
Awesome.
Nice.
You're lucky you're catching us in between sets, so you don't have to hear us trying to sing. Trust me, this is a good thing.
I'm actually glad
But
for
anyways,
that.
we just wanted to call and say hi to everybody. So hold on. Here's somebody else. Hey, Bob. Hey, Jenna. Hey, Vegan Freak Land.
Hey.
This is Jackson.
Oh,
It's been a long time since I've called in, and I just want to let you know that I just rocked out on Bon Jovi, and it was the worst and most embarrassing thing I've ever done. And I dedicated it to Sherbs from the Jurors. All right, here's Julia, and she wants to talk now. I'm too sober to talk.
Too sober to
Okay.
talk.
Well, I'm going to pass the phone off to Martha.
Hey, this is Delmar831 on the forums. I'm sober as well. I'm being a very good girl tonight. So I just wanted to say, having a good time, and she did rock out pretty good with the Bon Jovi. So here's Joe.
Just so you know, Joe's not sober.
No, really?
Shocker.
I'm shocked.
Hi. No, I'm not sober. I'm trying to get more drunk, too. Love you guys, Bobby, Jenny.
Jenny.
Good night.
Good night.
Okay, so we're going to fuck up some more songs and irritate my neighbors. We just wanted to call and tell everybody out there in Freakland that we love you, and that horrible noise you hear coming from the west is us, and we're sorry.
Awesome. Thanks for calling. That's great.
Rock Band is fun.
It is fun. It can be a lot of fun.
It can be.
I remember rocking out to some Ramones not long ago. We were home visiting family. Yeah. That was good. That was really cool. So I'm glad to hear from everybody.
Yes,
and
thank you for saying hi.
if anybody wants to get on our forums, we open them for usually the first week of every month, sometimes 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So check back at the beginning of February if you're interested. February. February always confuses me.
Yes.
Get the R in there.
It's odd.
It is indeed. So let's close this.
267-295-1944. Write the number down on your refrigerator door. Add the 001 country code if you call us from Vienna. That's how you leave a voicemail for good old Bob and Jenna.
So is that a show?
That's a show.
Wow, we did it.
We did. Yay.
So, thanks for listening yet again to Vegan Freak Radio. You can find our podcast at veganfreakradio.com. We will be back again, I hope soon, with another show.
I hope so. Thanks to everyone in IRC and on Twitter for participating.
Indeed.
And our voicemails and all that.
Yeah, we always like to hear from people. And we're actually more than a little. We're very, 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 very far behind on email. So if you send us email, sorry, we're behind.
Yeah.
A lot.
Like insanely behind.
Okay, let's just not even going further.
Okay.
We're behind.
Yes.
So, anyway, subscribers, hang on. After the theme song, we will have for you an extended segment. All the rest of you will be back again at some time soon. I guarantee you before the new year is out.
I certainly hope so.
Nah, we're dedicated to doing the show. Just in case anyone ever wonders, our goal is to keep doing the show as long as we can. So, we want to keep doing it. Don't think we've gone away. If we disappear for a little while, it just happens. We get busy sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
We have to be in the right mindset to do the show.
Yep.
I have to be able to channel my old man correctly. So anyway, that's it. If you're not vegan, go vegan already. What are you waiting for? Why would you wait? Just go vegan. Do it. It's a new year.
Yes.
Just go vegan. Just do it. Don't even think about it. Think about it.
Think about it. That's what makes you go vegan and stay vegan.
Don't think about it. Listen to me. Listen to Bob. Do not think about it. Go vegan now. Don't be not vegan. Be vegan.
There you go.
My voice keeps cracking.
I don't know what's wrong with you.
I don't know either. Okay, I'm going to go now. Bye.
Bye.
You're working hard to put food on your family.